Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that's absolutely fundamental for anyone who writes code, the whole philosophy and practice behind what we call clean code. So let's jump right in.
All right, let's kick things off with something a little controversial. This is from Kent Beck, and he says, the whole idea that good code even matters is a fragile premise. I mean, wow, that's a bold statement, right? It kind of feels like he's questioning the very foundation of our craft.
But here's the thing. We're going to push back on that idea. We're going to make the case that good, clean code isn't fragile at all. Actually, it's the complete opposite. It's absolutely critical. This isn't just about making things look pretty. This is, and I mean this seriously, about professional survival. To really get why clean code is so important, we first have to look at its dark side. We need to talk about the destructive, corrosive power of bad code. So let me tell you a story. It's a true one, a real cautionary tale. Picture this. It's the late 80s. A company drops a killer app. I mean, this thing is a massive success. Everybody loves it. Sales are through the roof. They're basically printing money. But, and there's always a but, right? There was a huge problem hiding under the hood. See, in their rush to get to market, they took a lot of shortcuts. The code was a complete and utter mess, a tangled up disaster, basically a mountain of technical debt. And that mess, it wasn't just sitting there. Oh no, it was like a cancer. It was growing. Every time they tried to add a new feature, things got worse. Releases got slower and slower. Bugs were piling up faster than they could fix them. The app started crashing all the time. The developers were basically drowning in their own mess. So what happened in the end? The company went out of business. Done. Kaput. And let's be super clear here. Their product was great. The market loved them. They failed because of the code. The bad code killed the company. It's as simple and as terrifying as that. Now, that story I just told, it's not some weird isolated incident. It's a pattern, a really common one, actually. It's this vicious downward spiral that so many teams fall into, and a lot of the time they don't even see it coming. And this cycle, it's just brutal. Here's how it goes. First, the mess builds up, right? Then productivity just tanks. The team slows to a crawl. So what's the typical management response? Throw more people at it. But here's the kicker. The new people have no idea what's going on in this tangled code base, so they end up making the mess even worse. And pretty soon, productivity grinds to a halt. We're talking close to zero. Finally, the team just snaps. They've had enough. They march into the manager's office and say, "We can't do this anymore. We need to start over. A total rewrite." They demand what's called the grand redesign in the sky. And look, it sounds great. It sounds like a fresh start. But more often than not, it's a trap. It's a huge gamble that usually doesn't pay off. Okay, we've spent enough time in the mud of bad code. We've seen the chaos it creates. Let's flip the script. Let's talk about the solution. What exactly are we aiming for when we talk about clean code? So, to really get a handle on this, let's hear from some of the giants of our field. And who better to start with than the guy who literally invented C++, Bjarne Stroustrup. So Bjarne talks about elegance and efficiency. I love that word, elegant. It means it's just pleasing to look at, you know? And it's fast. Wasting computer time is just not elegant. But the key part here is this. Clean code does one thing well. It's focused. It has a single, clear job, and it does it perfectly. No confusion, no extra baggage. Okay, next up, we've got Grady Booch. He's one of the pioneers of object-oriented design, and he has a totally different, kind of poetic take on it. Simple and direct, it reads like well-written prose. Think about that for a second. When you're reading a really good book, you're not thinking about the words or the sentences, right? You're just lost in the story. That's what he's saying our code should be like. The code itself should almost fade into the background, and the intent, The story of what it's trying to do should just shine through.
And for our last perspective, let's turn to Michael Feathers. If you've ever dealt with legacy code, you know this guy. And I think he gets to the very heart of the matter, the human side of it. This one just hits different, doesn't it? It was written by someone who cares. That's it. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. It's about craftsmanship. It's about giving a damn. Somebody took the time and the effort to get the details right, to make it orderly, to make it simple. They cared. So let's pull all that together. What do we got? Clean code is elegant, it's focused, it's simple, it's direct, it reads like a good story, it's well tested, it's minimal, no extra junk, and tying it all together, you can just tell that someone cared when they wrote it. But look, getting to this point, it's not just about memorizing some rules from a book. It's a whole different way of thinking. It's about developing the mindset of a true software professional. Check out this number, 10 to 1. What is that? Well, that's the ratio of time we spend reading code versus writing it. Yeah, you heard me right. For every minute you spend writing new code, you're spending at least 10 minutes reading old code. So what does that tell you? It tells you that making your code easy to read isn't some nice-to-have feature. It is the most important thing for being productive, period. And this leads us right to what you could call the primal conundrum of being a programmer. It's this battle we all fight in our heads. The lie, the thing we tell ourselves when the pressure is on is, I don't have time to be clean. I gotta rush. I gotta make a mess to hit this deadline. But the truth, the deep professional truth, rushing and making a mess is precisely what makes you slow. It's what makes you miss the deadline. If you want to go fast, the only way to do it is to go well, to stay clean. So we have the right mindset. Great. But how do we actually do it day in, day out? How do we stop our beautiful, clean code from slowly decaying into a mess? Because it will, if we let it. Well, the answer is beautifully simple. It's the Boy Scout rule. Leave the campground cleaner than you found it. Think about that in terms of code. It means that every single time you touch a file, you make it just a little bit better than it was before you opened it. Rename a confusing variable. Break one long function into two smaller ones. Just one tiny improvement. If everyone on the team does that always, the code base literally can't get worse. It's physically impossible. It can only get better. So at the end of the day, how do you become one of those programmers? You know, the ones who just naturally write clean code. There's no magic trick. There's no silver bullet. It's just like getting good at anything else, which, reminds me of that old joke. Practice, son. Practice. And that's really the secret, isn't it? It's not about being a genius. It's about discipline. It's about paying attention. It's about putting in the reps, day after day. It all comes back to that one simple idea, caring enough to do the work and to do it well.